I want to talk about one of the other candidates, and obviously someone that's running against you, Sheikh Salman, and his role in the Bahrain uprising. FIFA has very strong rules of ethics and human rights. What do you think about that and his role and how that would affect the FIFA presidency if he's elected?
Well, I've spoken to Sheikh Salman before. I think we're in Qatar or somewhere, or in Kigali, about these issues, and he gave me his word that these things are not true. These are just stories which have been made up against him. Having said that, at the same time, it must be very, very clear. Corruption, you spoke about corruption. Yeah. Now, Martin, you know we South Africans come from a different culture. The culture of the respect of human rights, because we know what crimes have been committed in the name of human rights in this country. So much so that we South Africans took this matter to the United Nations and the UN, including on the question of apartheid, described this as a crime against humanity. So for me, it's real red lights. You know, corruption, yeah, it's red lights, but there are many when it comes to human rights, because it's not about money. Now you're damaging people, you're attacking society. FIFA will obviously have to investigate anything, because the last thing we want is for what happened to Blatter to happen again. Yeah. Because we elected Blatter at the 65th Congress, and 5 days later he was gone. You don't want a repetition of this type of thing where things will come out around any of these candidates. I have total respect for all my 5 colleagues. We don't come from 5 political parties, like I'm saying. And I do hope that nothing should be coming out tomorrow and then we say so-and-so is found wanting. This question of human rights should be cleaned up. The FIFA Ethics Committee, the FIFA Electoral Committee must make sure that things are done, because if anything is just covered up, it's going to come up going forward, and we would like to avoid the situation of yet another crisis situation, a debacle inside FIFA. But for now, I take it that what Sheikh Salman has said stands, unless somebody stands up to say there's something else. So I trust that that's the situation.
I'm sure it is a very important issue for you, specifically because you are in charge of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Yes. In terms of FIFA, trying to resolve human rights issues in those 2 countries. So naturally, it would be important for you, because you want to see football played freely across the world.
Absolutely. The first committee in 2006, 2004, that I joined of FIFA was a FIFA Fair Play Committee. If you go to the FIFA statutes and see what we say about fair play, you'll understand that it's fair play around these issues. It's fair play on the question of diversity as well. It's fair play on the field and off the field. And that's how we came with the FIFA blue and yellow flag that is carried by children, not adults. We decreed that it should be carried by children to show the importance, the future, the innocence, and the beauty of this sport. And that's why the young Roonies, the Etos, the young Shabalalas, we start them at that level. Now, you cannot therefore say fair play inside FIFA and overlook the question of human rights. Yes, you are right. I'm also serving on the FIFA Anti-Racism Task Force, which I've said in my manifesto, it must move just from being a task force, which is temporary, to a permanent FIFA standing committee. And thirdly, I'm the chairman now, elected from the last Congress of the Palestine-Israel Facilitating and Monitoring Group. So the questions of human rights are all over the place. I mean, that one is worse, because every day somebody is dying in Palestine. People are stabbed, people are shot at, and that's where I am at all times. Therefore, you can't be involved in all these issues and yet overlook these matters when they're affecting some or one of us. Therefore, for me as a South African, but for me as a member of FIFA, for me who adhere to the constitution and statutes of FIFA, this is a question that is very uppermost. I stay with FIFA if it's clean out of this. If FIFA cannot deal with this one, then it shall shot itself in the mouth. It shall shoot itself in the heart. So there's no escape. We have already problems with the damaged FIFA. It is opposed from outside by sponsors, by the media. We are losing support of ordinary people. They don't trust us. We are called a criminal organization by investigating authorities of the United States. This is huge. We have had 14 leaders arrested one night. A few months later, 16 leaders. That makes it 30 arrested. We've lost the president, the general secretary, the blue-eyed boy of football, Michel. You know, it's a Platini. It's a serious situation. In any organization, the arrest of one person, the organization is going to stop. With us, 16, 14 first, and then 16, that makes it 30, So FIFA has got to be seen to be cleaning up its house, because we are lending our names as well to this organization. Football is playing very well. The UEFA has started all these games. The championships are there here in Africa. We've just come back from Kigali, the Chan. Very good things. So there, things are happening. We've got to talk development. We've got to be talking the promotion of football, sponsorship, facilitation, the training, the coaching. That's what we should be talking about. But we can't focus on football when the house, right at the top, the penthouse, is rotten. That must stop.
Absolutely. You mentioned Blatter, Falk, Platini, and all of them. Obviously, Platini was went to appeal this week. Falk, unfortunately, was suspended. I know they were friends of yours, and I'm sure you wish them well in the process going forward. But maybe what is your view going forward with these three former heads of FIFA?
They are not just three, Macklin. It's like I said, there's 16 people.
That's right.
The first 14 arrested. I know them all.
Yes.
Then the next 16, I know them all. Some I know them even stronger than others. Of course, we've worked with the World Cup was held here. Yeah. So South Africa for 4 years was their headquarters. There were more than 200 FIFA people, by the way, once the World Cup was handed over. We're working here at the offices in South Africa. FIFA takes a whole building. So as a member of the board, as a member of the various FIFA committees, as a member of the various committees of the 2010 World Cup, I've been with them. And as a member of various other associations, I've been with these people. So you know them. It's more than just Blatter and Valk and Michel and so on. So my heart goes out for them. But justice should take its own course. They will say that if things go wrong, because they are leaders. And when a leader is found wanting, the law takes its own course. So it's quite, I really feel for them. I feel that because right now they've lost so much in this thing. And it was all about football. But you see, that's the problem. If leadership removes the eye from the ball, as we say, here's the ball, you see. Once you remove your eye from the ball, things fall apart. And then, of course, as a leader, you're the first one to be called upon to account and to rectify the matter. I hope that after quite some time, because it's not going to be easy to clarify matters right now, FIFA will come out of this. The Attorney General of Switzerland, which is the country which hosts FIFA, has said that the investigations will be continuing, minimum for the next 5 years. Yeah. So a president is elected for 4 years. For all that 4 years, we will be working with the police, with investigating authorities, judicial bodies, to answer questions. And lots of things are going to come from these cases of people who have been arrested. It is not going to be a happy 4 years for whoever is an executive or president of FIFA. So we are biting the bullet. And is it worth it? Perhaps it is, but it's all about football. We have to rescue the game.
The beautiful game.
Yes.
Of course, we're all looking forward to the 26th of February, the end of, or the elective Congress. But what goes on after that? Is it time? Can problems be solved? Whoever's in charge?
We all have our manifestos. I will do this. This one says I will do that, and so on. It will not take one man. I say one man because all of us are 5 men. The president will be elected, but that's when the work begins. You are a president of a FIFA under trial. You have more than 30 of your own colleagues who are in various forms, in prisons, in exile, on the run from the police. You've lost the general secretary. It's it's going to be a very tough season. Somebody once said, "Gee, FIFA has changed. Why did we let ourselves into this thing?" But of course, you are there, so there's no running away. Secondly, it's going to take that leader together with the whole executive working with the confederations across the world to correct the situation. And thirdly, it is the implementation of the new reforms which will be voted in on the 26th. We are voting in the reforms. So these are reforms about various things that FIFA should do in respect of international best practice, more democratization, bringing in of women into FIFA, changing certain structures, the voting patterns and so on. So the reforms are quite heavy. They are actually going to create a kind of a new FIFA, all driven by the principle, the cardinal principle of transparency. For the first time, everybody must know what is happening, because it is the secrecy in certain decision-making processes that has landed us where we are today. Yeah. So it's a tough call. The 26 million, this election is just addressing an extraordinary situation. From the 26, it's really a tough call to implement those things. And the world, this time, you're not alone. There is no organization more watched and more suspected than FIFA. Perhaps it was good, a bad thing happened, but it happened for a good reason. So there'll be more transparency and more responsibility.
Time to rebuild.
Yeah.
Just lastly, and I know you've said it a few times, but I'm going to ask you again, why should you be the next man in charge? What is your last words that you'd like to tell people around the world that will be voting for you? Well,
FIFA needs a good leader, a strong leader. FIFA will need somebody who comes with a manifesto that brings a number of changes. I believe the commitment to democracy, which is the ethic of where I come from, commitment to transparency, to openness, these are things I've operated in my own country, taught within the organizations I've served in, political organizations where here in South Africa it's open. It's so open democracy that, you know, even the president of the country has got to run a gauntlet going to parliament. You know, he applies to go to parliament because the president is not a member of parliament. But when he goes there, it's going to be war. So I come from that country where it's openness. I believe FIFA requires a person of that nature. I don't say we South Africans are the only ones. Americans indeed are. Europeans are there as well. The manifesto is about development. I believe that coming from a continent where football is played so well, but without all the training facilities, the playing facilities, the academies, sufficient stadium, we need that type of a leader who's going to make sure that these things are top of the agenda. And I believe that from the business side, with all the international connections that one has, and I really mean international connections, you will be able to get sponsors to be more comfortable, because sponsors are very wary of FIFA. It's their money, they've got the right to be involved, but I've said to them, don't be so deeply involved as to call upon us to elect so and so. You can articulate your position, you can speak up against corruption, but don't be too involved. I believe that sponsors need people who they can trust, who has been one of them. And I've spoken with quite a number of sponsors in China, in the United States, and in other parts of the world, who are happy to say would like to have somebody who comes from the business community as well. But I believe that we've run the World Cup. What is the creme de la creme of FIFA? It is the World Cup. And to have been not just from a country of the World Cup, not just from being a board of the World Cup, but to be right deep in running of the World Cup. And you don't run the World Cup for 30 days. It takes 4 years to run the World Cup. The last 30 days when visitors arrive, you are now ready. But you build stadiums, you organize cities, you have infrastructure, you have got marketing, you've got broadcasting, the signal must be there. So we were in charge of all these things. I believe that bringing these types of skills will assist. But also, I know football, real football, where you play it with a foot. It's got no shoe in Soweto. But in President Robben Island, it does not even have a T-shirt. So development starts there. You know what is needed for this game. But I also believe that coming from a country where the film was made called It's More Than Just a Sport, we've shown that it can be used as a unifier. It can be used to bring harmony, to put people together. I'm not surprised that I was chosen. I'm sure there are other people who are equally strong, but I was chosen to lead the most difficult part of football right now in the world, which is Palestine, Israel. And we are doing exceptionally well, not by myself, but by bringing people and reminding them about the principles. And I'll speak of Mandela. If there are people who think that Mandela was used for the World Cup and the whole world saw him there, Mandela is also part of football because it was held in his own country. He campaigned for it. He went to Zurich. He lifted the World Cup. You can show your viewers Mandela holding it up and gave glory and respectability to that FIFA. We want to return those values, and that's what I'm saying to Israelis and Palestinians. Negotiations about compromise. I know people are dying every day. We walk over their bodies. The police are there, the army, the air force is shooting. So but we are trying to get this game to play. A leader of FIFA should be somebody just more than football, because football is on the pitch. This thing is bigger than the pitch. It's about society. It's the largest sport in the world. It can be used for good reasons, as some people have used it for good, but other people in history have used it for bad reasons, like Hitler. So you've got to do. I believe that we bring that kind of fresh air. But in any case, my fellow candidates are strong enough. They're good people and so on. For me, at the end of the day, whoever gets elected, if I obviously be nice to be you, but whoever gets elected, I've said, if it's this one, it's a party. If it's Jerome, it's a party. If it's Infantino from Europe, it's a party. If it's Salman, it's a party. And if it is Ali, it's a party. Because I know them all, I can trust them as people in football.
Very quickly, I know we touched on it a bit about the 54 members in Africa, 12 on the executive committee that obviously...
12 plus 2, 14.
Yeah. 14, obviously, that decided to go the other way. But are you still counting on the other African votes? I mean, going into the elections, I'm sure it's still important to you that you get the continent backing you.
Well, like I'm saying, the other one is a recommendation by the executive. It's not an order, it's not an instruction, it's a recommendation. But associations are known to choose their own way. They are nobody's forced. They listen. Some will take the recommendation, some don't have to. So it's merely that, a recommendation. But it's an important indicator. Therefore, it's nice for them to recommend, to make such a recommendation, but people don't have to follow that.
Thank you very, very much for your time. It's such a pleasure talking to you. I always enjoy interviews with you.
McLean, I wish we were in the studio, then I could have come there for a cup of tea. But look, for me, the important thing I must say to your viewers is the fact that at least there was an African who stood. There's no question of desperation here. It's inspiration of people that be not afraid, do not be discouraged. And that's how I come this far. And you would not be here if you were just told along the way, don't do this. And people are like that, you know, don't do this, don't do it's don't. The encourage is go, go, go. There are very few people who want to do that. But people, you know, there's this thing, don't do that, don't go. Do not be discouraged in this time. Leadership is about standing up for a cause and finishing your mission, instead of coming halfway, being told by people who are frightened on your behalf, or themselves who are frightened.
And it's people like you that make me proud to be African.
I'm strong.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.